It finally happened, an AI tool for video editors. But probably not how you're thinking. It's called Plotline, and it's not just an AI that magically picks your music and gets your B-roll all cut up and takes out the shaky bits. What it does do is solve one problem that nobody's really been able to crack. It helps you find the story before you start cutting. So I've been a filmmaker for nearly 20 years, weddings, documentaries, commercial, all of it. And most of the time my process looked the same. Import footage, dig through it for long periods of time, pull my hair out, take days just kind of pushing footage around, you know what I mean? Or going, back and listening to things over and over again and trying to recall the day, the shoot, what happened when, and it was just a mess. What is the big advantage that fictional or narrative filmmakers have over documentary and unscripted filmmakers? The script. They're able to follow the game plan. In documentaries and weddings and even content like for YouTube, we don't have that advantage. We shoot first. Maybe, hopefully, some pre-production, but we're mostly finding the story in the edit. What if there was a better way than just culling through interviews manually for a long period of time, wasting all this time organizing things and labeling and taking notes, doing like an old traditional paper edit, which is powerful. If you don't know, a paper edit's when you would print out transcripts of interviews and start rearranging it on index cards to find the story. Paper edits were slow, tedious, but it worked. And it did something really important. It separated the tasks of finding the story and building the edit. Those are two completely different mental tasks. We've been mashing them together into one miserable phase for far too long. That separation, story first, edit second, is the entire idea behind what I'm about to show you. So enough talking, let's get into it. So this is Plotline, and I'm gonna walk you through everything from creating a project to exporting it back into my editing software with the original footage, not just MOV files I exported specifically for this, the actual clips from my editor. So I'm gonna go to the dashboard here, create a new project. Obviously, we're working on a wedding today, but you can do any of these types of projects with custom story engines. I've created a masterclass and been teaching it for a very long time now. I've been in the filmmaking world for 20 years, and all of my knowledge of that masterclass and all my experience is put into this story engine. So this isn't just an average, AI. This isn't just a wrapper around ChatGPT. This is a in-depth narrative first story engine. So I'm just going to title it Mila and Christian, and we'll go into this. And the first thing you want to do is upload an MP3 file of your entire timeline of all your A-roll. So I'm going to select that here, and here's where you can select the frame rate. You can select how many speakers there are. In English and a handful of other languages, you can have up to 30. In many other languages, you can have up to 10. This is in English, and this one was up to 10 speakers. So I'm just going to hit upload, and once that finishes, you will see transcribing has begun. Now that the transcription is finished, we just add our XML file of the exact same sequence from the editing software. This works obviously with Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, or Adobe Premiere. So now I'm going to move on to the transcript tab. And while that loads, you're going to see these speakers laid out here, detected 10 speakers, which is great. And in the background, it is going to identify those 10 speakers. There it is. They're all there. And that's basically it. You can search for certain moments, you can replace text, you can edit a little bit, you can change speakers if the AI got it wrong, but I almost never do that because it's so accurate. Next, we're gonna go to the Composer tab, and this is where it gets really interesting. There's so much power in being able to sit down, be presented with options, and you're kind of able to tune the story. It's an amazing, amazing tool. So we're gonna go into the story script creation process, and everything's here. So there's, themes that it detected. If you star one, that kind of becomes the central theme of your story. You can deselect things you don't want it to focus on or include. And then I'm gonna go to moments here. These are some standout moments. They are all selected as optional, but you can say, hey, I loved this moment. You must include that. And you know what? I loved it so much, I'm going to use it as the opening. And then same with motifs. This is similar to themes, just a bit more broad. There's obviously this couple met at the Calgary Stampede, or they got to know each other there. I'm going to say that's a strong thing I want to emphasize. The friendship, friend zoning thing, of course, I'd like to have that be strong. So yeah, basically you're able to go in here and really customize things. You can even go a step further and type in something custom in this story direction text box. Then down here in speakers to include, if you recall, you know what, that speech wasn't very strong, then you can remove it. Or even for documentaries, if you can hear the interviewer and you want them to not be obviously included in the story script, you could deselect them. So for this one, I'm going to deselect the bride sister, let's say. And then once you are ready to go, you just hit generate story script. And it's finished. The first thing I see here is the story arc diagram. This is inspired by the traditional 3-act structure story arc, and it's just showing kind of the flow of emotion and what each story segment is through the whole film. As you go down into this, I see it's about their first meeting, it's self-reflection of the couple, and it's kind of building tension all at the same time. If I'm curious as to why this was placed first, you can read here. Opens with Mila's voice, establishing the narrative spine. Transformation from fierce independence to partnership. The running from love confession creates immediate intrigue and sets up the entire arc. Plants the theme of walls being dismantled. So there is intention and purpose behind every step of the story script process here. The story engine is really working hard to make sure there is a cohesive story through the entire film. All the way down here through to the end. And we can see why this final segment was picked as the closer, because it was the most emotionally powerful closing possible. Mila's vows spans past, present, and future with "It has always been you and it will always be you," echoing the opening's transformation from independence to partnership. That was so much fun is uniquely personal and forward-looking, resolves the narrative spine. The woman who was running from love now declares there's no version of her life without him. So that's really well thought out. That is really putting into words the theme and the bookends of the film. This is something as the filmmaker I want to convey. Sometimes I can't always put it into words, but the story engine really helped me find that. So I'm really happy with this. If I wanted to change things, there's an option to discover more here. You know what? We'll just go through it. If I click that, it will find some alternate segments that were also really strong if I wanted to add them or replace other moments. So here are some additional segments that the story engine found. I really like this one, so I'm going to take that, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to put it right here, and now it's in my story script. So everything else looks great. I mean, I can edit manually if I want and reorder things, I can listen to it, but I'm happy. I'm going to go over to the export tab. So here in the export tab, immediately I can select what script to use or to export. If I have multiple, it automatically detected that my XML was from a Final Cut Pro project. And all I have to do is select the frame rate, decide if I want a heads or tail buffer, like a 1.5 seconds at the start and end of each clip for editing purposes, but I'm gonna leave that off, and I hit download. So I open that up in Final Cut Pro and I see the story script laid out perfectly for me. This has all the original media, all the original clips, both angles through the ceremony and speeches, all the audio that was playing at those certain moments. So I can go from here and just start to edit and select angles, select audio sources that I want, and get to the creative part much faster. This all in all took me under 10 minutes, and I'm ready to edit B-roll and music with this story. That's incredible. So yeah, it finally happened. Plotline, the AI tool for video editors, not just something replacing editors, because I don't believe in that. I made an AI tool because I want to protect the storytelling process, not farm it out. Plotline is a paper edit that thinks. It gave me back the 4 hours I was torturing myself before trying to find stuff and organize all at the same time. So if you want to try Plotline, there is a link in the description for a free trial. I would love for you to check it out. Let me know what you think. If you want to learn more, check out plotline.pro or head over to Instagram at plotline.pro. And I'll see you in the next video.